lots of conversations here, Ham, and it's what's next. Of course, I've been sort of interested in just by hearing Patrick talk throughout the season about the future and how important Kelce is to him and all of that. Like, what does that look like? Does this sort of the way this loss went? Like, you can always lose a game. To lose
Yeah.
like this, what does that do to Travis? Does that make him say, I'm not going out like this? I'm going to come back and I've got more to give? Or does he sort of know he's done and he's made peace with that? Like, that'll certainly be a story here. But, it's can they keep everyone together? What's ahead with Veach? Do they have another run in them? Do they go all in and try to get some more weapons? It sounds like a weird thing to say, but I had Hall of Fame and Hall of Fame bound people telling me yesterday that Patrick doesn't have the weapons. It's hard to believe. You bring in DeAndre, obviously you draft Worthy, not used quite the way that we might have expected him to. Maybe they can get back to that somehow. Do you buy into that he doesn't have the weapons he needs?
I mean, I think with Kelce not quite being the Kelce we've seen in the past, that's definitely a thing. Rashee Rice not being out there was a big thing for them as well. And who knows what his status is going to be for next year with everything he has going on. So I like Worthy a lot. He's been a really good piece for them all year. I don't know that he's necessarily that go-to guy. It may be something that they do have to address here because, the roster is constantly evolving. They got away with it without Tyreek because the defense was so incredibly dominant and they fixed the offensive line. But as those things are starting to shift, maybe they do go all in and try to get him another number one go-to guy, especially if Kelce walks away.
Wonder how Chiefs fans are feeling this morning, because the ones that, obviously like Amanda, my sister-in-law, my whole entire family, it's just like, oh, it's not our year. There is like, it's not house money, obviously, like they could have made history. I think that actually weighed really heavy on this and on the team. It might not have, it might have had something to do with all of this, but he is 29. So there's no question that you're going to go all in. It'll be an interesting offseason. I got to say, like, I like this revenge tour kind of vibe. Like, I like that we're going to have a little adversity for these champs. I embrace the Brady Mahomes GOAT conversation. I like we don't want it to all come easy to Patrick, to these Chiefs, to Andy. I like a little, I don't even know, like a little roughness to it. I think it's going to be a hell of a thing to watch with Kelce and company. But I don't know if you obviously work with the Chiefs, not with the Chiefs, but you covered the Chiefs on other platforms as well. Do you feel, what's the vibe there before we go to break? Just the vibe with, I guess, like Chiefs fans, how they should be feeling.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of disappointment. They wanted this three-peat. They wanted to do what nobody's ever done. And I think it was weighing heavy. And I think there is a little bit of a disappointment with Patrick. Just, again, there were moments where there were plays to be made and there wasn't pressure. And he seemed to be thinking about the protection and what was going on in front of him. And he didn't take some of those shots downfield early, which we can get into a little later in the week too. But yeah, there's definitely a frustration there with what went on last night. And, there are going to be a lot of conversations about what they need to do this offseason to get back there.